Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta. And as you can see up here on the screen, this is from today, in which Trump and Zelensky, as well as J.D. Vance, raised their voices at each other and kind of got into it. Supposedly, Trump even kicked Zelensky out of the White House, but I'm yet to see that yet. We'll see, though. And this meeting clearly shows that these devils are divided. And you can see that on just about every level within their society. You start out at the top, and you know the elites are divided. And then you look down, and these different countries that exist, which are borders they created, but that's division in itself, because these Edomites are running around thinking that they're British, or that they're German, or that they're Russian, or Ukrainian, or American, when really they're just all Edom. They're all Edom, including Israelis. They're all Edom, and they are extremely divided. And it's because this devil uses the false left-right paradigm. He's got the liberals and the conservatives. He's got anti-alphabet versus alphabet. There's just so many philosophies that they put out that, of course, they're going to be divided. And now it's coming to a breaking point. And you're seeing it. You're even seeing Zelensky prophesy about the downfall of America, or about America being in war. And this is great because it shows that we are at the end of their world. Satan rising up against Satan. And so let's go ahead and listen to these devils.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
There you go, right there. He said you have nice oceans because America has the two barriers of the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean on both sides of it. So it makes it a lot harder for enemies to actually invade America. But he said, but you will feel it because America will go into World War III. They're sided with the Israelis, with Amalek. So they're going to go into World War III. It's going to happen. It's prophesied. The second woe is past, and the third woe cometh quickly.
I don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not playing
cards.
cards.
But right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
speak about?
gambling with
What do you
World
speak
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you
And that is going to happen no matter what, because that's how the kingdom of heaven comes in. That's how the kingdom of Yahweh Shai comes in, through World War III. After the dust of it is cleared, men like this will be in chains, and a new righteous kingdom will be made. And we're watching the translation of the kingdoms now. So we're watching the downfall of Esau's world, but the rising of the Israelite world, of Jacob's world.
doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting, have
today.
you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of
you're
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this.
I,
You have a damn
we-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and your
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but
president.
they had to use our military.
Yes. What about
if,
West
if
Indies?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell
you
you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of
except
times
that
thank
there,
you
except
to
that,
American people.
except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on
I
over
understand,
there.
sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I
on
know.
soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look. If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
Trump's funny. But yeah, you can see these devils are divided. Esau's kingdom is divided. Let's go here to Mark 3 and verse 23. And he called them unto him, and said unto them in parables, this is Yahushua speaking, how can Satan cast out Satan? And the people of Satan are the Edomites. They're Satan's his people that he has here on the earth. Those are the Edomites, so-called white people, including the small hatters. It's verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And so they have all these different countries and different affiliations that they're with, but they're really all one kingdom. And they've lost sight of that, which great, because they are divided against each other. And it's really it's them that's going to take out themselves, because Russia at the head is going to launch nukes onto America. That's Esau versus Esau, or Satan versus Satan. And that's a kingdom broken and divided, because those Russians are Edomites and the Americans are Edomites. The Europeans are Edomites, the Israelis are Edomites, and so-called white people and these small hatters, and they are completely divided. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. So Esau's kingdom is falling. It's divided. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. The house of Esau against this house. Slovakia, forget exactly how it goes. Let's get it real quick. Let's see if I can find it. It's way too much. We're just going to go back to Mark 3. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. The house of Esau is divided. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. So Yahushua is telling us that the end is near, because we are seeing the division between these Edomites. We're also seeing the emergence of the MOTB, the micro C-HIP, or at least seeing a lot of testing and experimenting and development on it, which shows us that we're at the end. There's rumblings of World War III, which shows us that we are at the end. And we're seeing this devil be exposed, which is showing we're at the end of Esau's world, as well as the Israelites standing up on their feet, remembering themselves. That shows that we are at the end of this devil's kingdom. And it was always going to be like this, because it's prophesied. It's Daniel 2 and verse 41. This is from the dream that Nebuchadnezzar had, and Daniel broke it down. It's this statue that he saw in different parts, which showed different kingdoms that would be, until the kingdom of heaven, till the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It's Daniel 2 and 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, showing we're at the end of it, part of potter's clay and part of iron, because this kingdom is miry clay mixed with iron. It says the kingdom shall be divided. And that's what we're seeing there with Trump and Zelensky and J.D. Vance. We're seeing the division. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. Because thinking of their kingdom of NATO and the EU, which Ukraine is not a part of NATO, so they're not in it, but you could still see the division. And there's been so much, a lot of this is surrounded by NATO because they want it to become a part of NATO. And Putin saw the expansion of NATO and moved in to try to take his land back, or Russian land back, which is why there's this war that is going on. But within the EU, you see some of the countries being strong, financially strong, and then some of them being weak. So you have the example of the pigs, which are Portugal, Italy, Greece, Spain, and Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece, Spain, if I'm correct. But those represent some of the weaker nations, and they're financially weaker, while the others are stronger. So there's even division within that. And that's represented as the clay. And it says, verse 42, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken, because these two do not mix. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Again, going back to the country example, they all see themselves as individual countries, which yeah, company too, but they don't see themselves as a united Edomite kingdom. Shoot, they don't even want to call themselves the Edomites, and they've gotten so much backlash over the years. They can't say they're a united white country because they're not even white in the first place. But yeah, they're not together. They are not together. They're not all mixed together, understanding that they are of the same nation, and to keep themselves going, they need unity. Verse 44, and in the days of these kings, so in this time of NATO and EU, in the time of Edomites having rule, at the end of it, in the time of NATO and the EU existing now. And in these days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. And so it's this time period. Once this is over, once World War III occurs, Yahushua is coming back. We first have to have the MOTB pushed out and made mandatory, but from there, World War III is going to kick up, and Yahushua will be back sooner than we can even expect. And it's going to continue forever, which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, showing that it's only for Israel. Not everyone could be saved. Not everyone gets the blessings, just Israelites. But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Because Yahushua is coming back to put down all rule, power, and authority. All kingdoms will bend the knee to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And that's what we're looking forward to. And so, you got some great drama TV on with those presidents up there and the vice president. And basically, we could just sit back. I mean, of course, we have to do the work, but this is something to take in and be excited about, watching the downfall of our enemies. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushua Bahasham, Wakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.